chatting in the back, excited about the lines they're seeing. I'm even getting applause. Yeah, we do have an update, and this is hopeful. It's
That's right.
promising, but it doesn't mean it's a definite. So let me show you this. These are the latest computer models. Again, that high pressure center is steering this thing west, so it will likely move due west. Now remember yesterday, I talked about the chance for these models to make a shift.
Yeah, that definitely looks different.
The question was, we knew we were going to have this thing make a sharp turn to the north, but when would that happen? So the models yesterday had all these lines right here through the middle of Florida.
It looked like it
Some
was
going
take
out here.
The whole state.
Now look at it. They're all shifting east. All shifting east. Even some of the models that we pay even more attention to, closer attention to, the consensus model is this one here.
The orange
This is
one
the
or
European
blue one?
model, that orange peachish color.
Okay.
There are two of them there, like that, right there. But anyway, they're in the same spot. So right there, and what that means is that's a general consensus of a lot of the models.
Gotcha.
Rather than showing you all those lines, a lot of them are generally there. This is also the European model. The European model was right on top of Central Florida. Now it's shifted east. So as these important models, these aren't just any old models,
Right.
you know. These are the ones we really care about. They're starting to shift east. And so as that happens, there's still the chance we could see a Matthew situation where you would have a Category 4 hurricane close, the eye would be close to the shore, of course much of the hurricane onshore, but the actual eye staying offshore. And remember, the strongest winds are within that eye. So if you can keep that eye offshore, it will be a much better scenario. It would move north and then maybe make that turn like Matthew did. That's the question. But at least this is a positive, getting to see those models shifting farther to the east, which is something we were hoping would happen. Part of the reason could be that a front tries to move in from the north.
So yesterday, these models looked very different, but Troy just said we knew that there was going to be a turn, and now it looks like that turn is happening maybe a little quicker.
Quicker, yes. We were fearful that it wouldn't make the turn until it moved to Florida, and now these models are indicating that. So what we have to do is wait for the new 5 o'clock track. That'll come out just before 5 o'clock. Now here's the track as of 11 last night. Now you do see the 2 a.m. advisory. These numbers get updated at 2 a.m., explaining the wind, the movement, the pressure, all that. But the actual track doesn't get updated until 5 a.m. So as of the 2 a.m. intermediate advisory, the winds are at 185 still.
That is so incredible.
And you know, I wrote down some notes just so I would remember this.
185 miles per hour, guys.
The strongest wind ever recorded in a hurricane was Allen. In 1980, the winds were 190. So we're very close to that strongest ever anywhere. Now, this one, Irma, is so far the second strongest ever recorded with the 185 mile per hour wind. So it's second strongest. Now if it does go up to 190, it would tie. If it goes above 190, it would be the strongest ever. But so far, Allen in 1980 holds that. Irma is the strongest in this region of the Atlantic. Now there have been other stronger storms in the Gulf, but in this general area of the Atlantic, Irma is the strongest ever. So there's some facts for you.
Some little factoids.
Yeah, and if we're going to have any impacts from this, which we likely will have some impacts, that would be Saturday night into Sunday beginning, and then Monday into Tuesday.
I'm going to show you guys this new looking model again, because a lot of you are excited about this.
These models have shifted east, and so as they have, these are the important models. We're talking about the European model, also the consensus model. And as they are in agreement, or at least more in agreement, that this thing would be farther east, at least we're seeing a trend. Because yesterday at noon, I was showing a shift to the east.
Yep.
If we continue to see a shift to the east, this thing could be farther off of our coast. And the farther off the coast, the better, and the lower the impact. Now, again, that's not a definite. These could, again, shift back to the west. We've got several days. Again, it would be Sunday, Monday, until we see an impact in Florida. So we have until then to see some changes here with these. But the European model came out, and it showed a shift to the east. Now, it's still showing the eye riding right along the coast, but that's better than it being farther inland. Now, here's the thing. We do think that this track will change based on that European model change, because these models are now shifting more. Why would this be over here? So it may shift slightly, which may not look good when we see if they shift it like right over, central,
center on Miami almost,
But what that would indicate is that it would be a trend to push east. So then the following track could be farther east. I mean, that's what happens. It's never a drastic. The Hurricane Center isn't going to drastically change this track, but when they look at trends, they gradually make these changes because we have time. But the bottom line for anyone concerned is we will likely have an impact, because you have to look at this entire cone here. From there to there, we're talking about Cuba all the way, up to the Bahamas, and Orlando is in the cone now. Let me forward this. So this is the cone of uncertainty. So anywhere within that cone, you could have the eye.
Yep.
Remember that.
And Sherry is saying she's in Merritt Island. She's evacuating regardless.
Well, good.
Sherry, you're not alone. There are other people. I mean, a lot of people
with Matthew.
Leaving.
Remember Matthew rode along the coast and then shifted away. People in central sections didn't have much of an impact, but along the coast there was much more of an impact. A lot of people stayed and regretted it because they were very fearful through the storm, and they were calling our receptionist and they were saying, what do? We can't evacuate, because there becomes a point where you can't. If you do that, great. And of course, we'll hear more from the governor about mandatory evacuations in other spots. Like the Keys, takes 3 hours to get out of there because of that 2-lane road. But again, all of this could change, but there is at least a better trend to show these models shifting farther to the east. And this track could change as of 5 o'clock.
And I think it's also just another reminder that these change every time we get an update. I mean, not always drastically. But they do.
And we do
change,
we look
so
for nuances. We look for trends. And as we're seeing this trend pushing to the east, usually the models trend first, and then the track would change. So they're not going to change this track drastically, but I wouldn't be surprised if they change the track farther to the east.
This one at 5 a.m.
Right. I would hope. But it may just be slightly east, which would maybe put it in the middle of, but still that could be a trend that would eventually push farther to the east.
We won't know till 5, so we will keep you guys in the loop. And I see Justin over there. He's making me smile, as always.
What is he doing? Oh, he's wearing a gray suit.
All right, so we will see you guys in a little bit.
Time to do Alexa.
Stay safe. We will answer your questions. It's just going to take us a while because we have hundreds of them. All right, we'll see you later.